Hi guys, this is gsnano.com and I'm here with a freshly unveiled OnePlus 10T. Unlike last year, this year we do have a fall flagship and it's right here. It comes with a brand new Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 processor, Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1, and a design which feels familiar if you've seen the OnePlus 10 Pro, but with some changes. This is the OnePlus 10T, priced starting at 699 euros, at least in Europe. Okay, so an odd thing is that we don't have a case in the box this time, although OnePlus usually offers one. For us, the press, they provided these two cases, which I'm pretty sure you can buy from their sites. This is an interesting looking one. It feels like a cheese grater of sorts. And this is a more serious one, a black one, so you have choices. More details will be provided in the description of this video. Let's focus on the phone now. I already set it up. I'm going to fire it up and talk about it a bit more. Now, it's glossy, it draws a bit of fingerprints, that's why I mentioned the case first and foremost. Unlike the OnePlus 10 Pro, there's a difference here in the way the camera module connects to the frame. It doesn't connect as smoothly. And as you can see, there's no longer the alert mute slider, which was a bit of a trademark for OnePlus. Okay, and the integration with Oppo continues, and I should mention that even though OnePlus unveiled OxygenOS 13 on the same day as this phone, this one doesn't run it. Its premiere happens on the OnePlus 10 Pro. Let's see what's inside the box now. First of all, here we usually have a case. This time we have safety information, quick start guide, and a welcome message here, together with the key used to access the slots, and a bunch of stickers as well. Okay, so far so good. I would have to say that I have to turn down the brightness a little bit, and the shelf still annoys me because I always turn it on by mistake. Another important feature of this device is that it has one of the fastest chargings on the market. I mean, we barely unboxed the Realme GT Neo 3 with its crazy 150 watts, and guess what? This one also has it. 150 watt charging, ahoy, it's available here. Super VOOC charging, USB-C connector, and not that big of a charger considering how fast it charges the device. Once again, 150 watts. And I can spoil you and tell you that its battery will be charged in below 20 minutes. Here we have the cable, which I should show you here. It's a thick red cable going from USB-C to USB-C, and that's it. Those are all the accessories we get on this phone. Now, this hue we have here, it's called jade green for some reason. It doesn't feel like green, more like a gray blue. It's got a glossy back here, and we have a plastic frame, just so you know. The backside is made of glass, and the colors also include a moonstone black. That's the other version you can get the phone in. I would have to say it's a bit slippery, and at the same time it feels long and wide. Slight Galaxy Note vibration from it, slight vibe like that. And we also have a screen protection applied from the factory, a plastic one applied on the screen, aside from what I'm guessing is Gorilla Glass already applied on top of it. 8.75 millimeters in thickness, and it weighs a hefty 203.5 grams. Now, having done some research in the meantime, I can already mention the fact that we actually do have Gorilla Glass here, and it's Gorilla Glass 5 if I'm not mistaken. They skipped Victus, probably because it was more expensive. The bezels are narrow, I'll give it that much. This is a 6.7 inch screen, Fluid AMOLED. It's got a Full HD resolution and a 120 Hz refresh rate, plus up to 1000 Hz touch response, which is something which caters to the needs of gamers all over the world. Also, HDR10 Plus is available. Another thing that's available here is the brand new Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1 processor, 4nm made by TSMC, a 10% bump in performance from the predecessor. The phone has actually 3 versions of RAM, 8, 12 or 16 gigs. We have 16, LPDDR5, and 256 GB of storage, UFS 3.1. Now, there's no microSD, you guessed that much, and there's no audio jack here, as you can see. The fingerprint scanner is integrated in, well, the screen. I also have a face unlock, but let's try to use it and show you properly. So here we go again. That's the fingerprint scanner in action, optical, integrated in the screen. And if you're wondering about the battery, It's important because you don't see every day such a fast charging. This is a 4800 mAh unit and we have 150 watts charging. For comparison's sake, the OnePlus 10 Pro had a 5000 mAh battery and 80 watt charging. Connectivity includes USB-C 2.0 at the bottom here, the dual nano SIM card tray next to it. We got 5G and Wi-Fi 6, we got Bluetooth 5.3 and NFC, and GPS dual band. Plus, I almost forgot to have stereo speakers, this one here, and at the top side we have this slit used for the earpiece. Now, speaking of things which are cut in panels or close to it, we have here a punch hole for the selfie camera, which is a 16 megapixel shooter with electronic image stabilization. So this is the front camera. At the back side there's a triple setup. It includes a 50 megapixel main camera, Sony IMX766 with 7p lens and optical image and electronic image stabilization. Then there's the ultra-wide 8 megapixel camera, and finally a small 2 megapixel macro camera. This is a dual LED dual tone flash. We have multi autofocus, 4K 60 frames per second video, and let's see what else. So we have a lot of features in the camera department, as you can see for yourself, while parts of the interface have been borrowed from Oppo, like for example this AI scene enhancement and also the AI highlight video were borrowed straight out of Oppo. We have macro, time-lapse, tilt shift, panorama, slow-mo, dual video, pro, movie and long exposure special modes. We also have portrait available here, as well as photo once again with HDR and a full resolution shot, 50 megapixels. This is the video section. We can shoot in 4K, Full HD or 720p. We also have a special ultra steady feature, only works in Full HD, and a night mode which is Nightscape, a new generation. This is OxygenOS 12.1, which we have here with a shelf trigger like this, a collection of widgets. And I actually asked someone at OnePlus if they still have that cool feature which shows you where you parked your car. They didn't exactly know it, but I'll find it and come back to you. I actually love that feature in the shelf which showed you on the map where you left your car. Other than that, there's a typical experience with the news feed here, with the customizations for wallpapers, icons and widgets, with this part here taken once again straight from Oppo, which is not exactly a bad thing. We also have the sidebar, which is most likely triggered from the settings, and I find it annoying that I always swipe like this, triggering the shelf instead of that feature. Okay, so special features, as I said before, include split screen, OnePlus shelf and work-life balance, basically a way of switching between modes so you won't be bothered. There are gestures and motions here, screen recording and so much more, digital well-being and privacy, which should include your privacy dashboard and more. Okay, so that's about it pretty much, and this has been the first impression about the OnePlus 10T. I find it wide, I find it slippery, and I find it tall. It's a long phone. However, it's cheaper than usual. It's probably the cheapest phone with a Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1 CPU right now. It should cater to gamers. It has a fantastic battery life, I can tell you that much. And it's actually quite a decent looker, imitating the current flagship. However, materials are a bit of a compromise here. And the lack of a Hasselblad branding and alert slider may worry some people. Updates, it gets 3 years of Android updates and 4 years of security updates, and I would say that it's pretty much a gamer's phone and it can compete with high mid-range phones while having a flagship CPU inside. Now, OxygenOS 13 brings improvement for the always-on display. They can show Spotify on the always-on display, and we also have some extras. The extras of OxygenOS 13, which you don't have installed here, but we can install on the OnePlus 10 Pro, they include an aquamorphic design inspired by water, brand new style of fonts and widgets. The widgets can expand after long presses. Always-on display has Spotify integrated. We have a new look, more liven up. You can track food deliveries or the always-on display, so that seems to be the core of the new experience. A brand new Zen mode, a brand new work-life balance, spatial audio and fast pairing, and a smart launcher. We'll see it when it's widely available. For now, this has been the unboxing of the OnePlus 10T, and don't forget the extra cases because we no longer have one in the box, at least in the version we tested. That's it from gsno.com. Goodbye.